What's going on? It's your boy Icy Jones here with another episode of Hot Seat with Icy Jones on But God TV. Thank everybody for tuning in and chiming in. We have a special guest in the building today. She's running for Congress over District 4.
District 4.
Jennifer Eason, everyone.
Hey, hey.
We also have Deacon T.
What's up?
What's going on, sir?
Glad to be here.
He wants to sit in today, and we may see how this goes. It may be more for you. More days we do this, right?
There you go.
And you still got a hot topic.
I got a hot topic today.
All right, for sure. So, Jennifer, we have him come on and do the hot topic after every show. And it's really just wisdom, knowledge, you know what I'm saying, and just giving us some good vibes.
Information.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So, we get it in. And I put people in the hot seat.
Looks like it's me today.
Yes, absolutely. So when we talk about Jennifer Eason, who is Jennifer Eason as a person?
Jennifer Eason as a person is somebody who is a mom. I've got 2 kids. I've been a single mom for a better part of my adulthood.
Okay.
She's someone that knows what the struggle is like. I've been homeless at one point in the last 10 years.
Okay.
So, you know, I know what it's like to be out there to try to make ends meet. I know what it's like to feel like you're yelling into an empty echo chamber about what's really going on, you know, in the trenches with kids, whether you're having to figure out how to pay rent or, you know, how to pay a copay and things are not working.
Right.
So as a person, I'm looking out there thinking, you know, I've got a voice. This is something that I need to be out in the community. I need to be out using this voice and trying to affect change.
Absolutely.
So that's how we got here.
And I want to say this, we have never met before. This is like the first time.
We've laid eyes personally.
And that's a great start for me to know who you are as a person. So you know the struggle. You feel the pulse of the city.
In the trenches.
And how long you been in Vegas?
I've been in Vegas since 2005. I'm originally from Kansas City, home of the Super Bowl champions this year.
I see you.
Oh, my goodness.
Listen, we've been horrible my whole life. Let me have it.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
You got it.
That's true.
And so what brought you in 2005?
I was in a pretty bad relationship with the father of my kids, and my mom just kind of looked at me one day and said, "Hey, you know, you want to get out of Kansas?" She's a teacher, and the district where she was teaching was cutting the jobs in the area in which she specializes. And given my relationship status, I was like, "Yeah, let's just kind of roll out of here." And it's a good story because prior to moving to Las Vegas, I had never visited, not one time. Never visited to gamble, never visited. This was the day we drove in our big budget truck was my first time coming to Vegas, and it was 117 degrees that day.
Jumped off the porch.
Yeah, pretty much. Packed up everything that we owned and came here. And we had decided when it was ready for us to move, we were either going to go to New Orleans or here.
Yeah.
And we made the right decision because Katrina took out New Orleans 2 weeks after we got here.
Right.
So I mean that could have been us.
Right.
My mom has since moved back to Kansas, and I stayed here. This is it for me. I love this place.
Got it.
Yep, Vegas made me who I am.
I'm born and raised here.
I heard.
Yeah, good to hear that. And so now you say Congress. And where did you get the thought process or the confidence to do such right now in these times?
Confidence has never been an issue for me.
Okay, talk about it.
First and foremost, I'm a firm believer of not doing anything, you know, half.
Say it.
Correct. Half-assed. I don't do anything half-assed. I go big or I go home. I'm also a firm believer in how you feel, right? If it feels right, I'm a big believer in intuition. And I've been thinking about jumping into the political arena for 10 years. I've studied political strategy for 20 years. Politics has been my life. I'm kind of a politics junkie. And this just for quite some time has felt right to me. I've had lots of people in my circle trying to convince me to run for office, and it just never felt like the right time for me. Given the caucus results, I'm a very progressive candidate. Given those results, it's just, for me, felt like a perfect storm. Why wait?
Yeah.
People need change now. Resources are being taken out of the West Side now. Grocery stores continue to be an issue. Resources continue to be an issue. Falling property values in the West Side continue to be an issue. Are we going to start doing something about it now, or are we going to start complaining about it after it's gentrified?
Right.
Now.
Right.
Let's do it now.
Absolutely. And so what does that plan look like in the next 2 years, 4 years, right now? When you say right now, because we know things take time in the state, take time through the government. What are you looking like in the future right here, the present future?
So I think probably within, should I be lucky enough to be elected to represent this district, what you're going to see in the first 100 days is a presence for the district. So rather than have someone that is absent, You're going to have someone that is loud. So I like to liken myself like if Aaron Brockovich and AOC had a baby and that baby decided to go to Congress, that's who I am. So you're going to see someone who is vocal and loud. I mean, that's just who I am. Making themselves known in the circles and just being loud. And again, being present in the district, when I talk to people that are voters in the area, that's going to be one of their main complaints is our current representation is not here. He doesn't answer calls. He doesn't answer emails. So what you're going to see from me as your elected representative is someone who gives voice to the people. So you're going to have an option to record a video and send it into my office. I'm going to have a task force available to actually answer emails. You're going to see me in the district. You're going to see me putting together town halls. You're going to see me being accessible.
Yeah, you have that vision.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's strong.
Absolutely.
And what made you, okay, so single mom, right?
I'm married now, fortunately.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, how long were you a single mom at that point?
I had my daughter, who is now 24, almost 25, in 1995, and I was single for most of that. So I was in another relationship for 6 years, but, mostly single, raising these kids for the better part of her being 24, and my son is 15, almost 16. So I've been doing this on my own.
Growing up. I've seen a lot of that. Is that somebody that's a cause that you're after as well? Going after single moms and helping them and getting them on their feet?
Part of it, for me, it's bigger than that. It's being able to put resources back into the community to help people that have been homeless, to help single moms, to help people that are having a tough time getting employment because they don't have the skills. I've got a human resources and benefits background. Yeah. So, I know what it's like to try and recruit people. I know what it feels like to being on the other side of that desk interviewing. Yeah. So being able to put together a coalition to help people in the community with interview skills, with resume building skills, even putting yourself together from a physical standpoint, getting ready to have the look right for an interview. So putting together a coalition that is inclusive of all of that, because what single moms might experience from a job perspective, lots of people are experiencing that. So if we're able to help the community as a whole, single moms are going to benefit from that as well.
Yeah. How's marriage? You say you're married now. How's marriage? Yeah.
Yay. At least I like my person when we're in quarantine. I don't feel like, I want to kill her with a bag of hot nickels.
Right. Y'all got to stop that. I've heard about all these divorce rates going up.
Yeah, and I guess domestic violence has become an issue lately with this quarantine too. So
that's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Definitely we need to address that as well.
So how did you get out of that relationship back in the day?
Restraining orders don't work, and I can tell you that. My ex set my house on fire. So
Shut up.
Absolutely, he set my house on fire. So it's I am the epitome of when I tell you that I know what these things feel like being on the other end of that. Yeah. He gave me a concussion. I mean, these are things that I've experienced in my life, and it took me literally having to pack up and move across the country to escape that. It should never be like that. We have got to put things in our law enforcement, which is a whole nother topic, reforming law enforcement. But to do more than just a restraining order. Nobody listens to those. They show up to your job. What do they care? It's a piece of paper.
They stop legal people, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's
Let me ask you this, because I didn't know you before today.
Right.
Talk a little bit about, because I think it's important, and it's what I like about you getting elected, actually. You're not a politician.
I'm not. But neither is Donald Trump. So let's make that distinction.
Well,
right?
Yeah, right.
I'm not out here grabbing people.
Yeah. No, no. That wasn't what I was trying to get at. But what I like about you, and maybe you could talk to this, is, I believe that some people get into politics and they get very comfortable being a politician, and their goal sometimes can get focused on getting reelected.
Sometimes.
Versus doing what's right. I'm trying to be nice.
All the time.
I'm trying to be nice. And that their job becomes, I got to get reelected. Versus, I've got to do the right thing for my people, even if it isn't popular, and it might cost me some votes. But even if I don't get reelected, I'm going to do what I think is right. And why don't you just talk to that a bit?
What you're describing, I think, is a symptom of the issue with campaign finance, because you always got to follow the money, always. So part of the plan that I wanted to institute as far as campaign finance reform is limiting how much money any particular candidate has in their coffers at any given time. There's absolutely no reason why some of these politicians at a national level have millions of dollars in their coffers while people are homeless on the street. On the way here, just to give you an example, the food bank that Palace Station has going, that line is wrapped for miles around. While if you look at how much the politicians are spending on commercials right now, we can take care of that. So part of what I want to propose is limiting any one candidate's bank account to $500,000 in order to campaign. That's it. So if you have a limited amount of money, by default, I mean, in theory, you should be in the race for the right reasons, not to enrich yourself, not to enrich your family, not to continue with the generational wealth that we're seeing with these politicians. But if you are limited to the amount of money that you can have in your bank, that you can make, that you can campaign with, that you are allowed to take in, you should theoretically be in the office to do the right thing. And then what I alluded to earlier is giving people a voice into your office as far as videos and things like that. You need to be held accountable. So I also want to put a coalition into place that audits the politicians and people that are in office. So if you say that you are going to put forth X, Y, and Z, you need to be able to show deliverables as far as what you've done. And again, being an HR person and coming from the corporate world, metrics and deliverables and things are how you are graded. That's how your annual review is done. Who's putting in annual reviews for our elected politicians? Nobody?
No one.
You'd like to think it's the voters. At the end of the day, it's not. Because where are the results? Why is there no longer a DMV on the west side? Why is there not a grocery store? Where are the measurables? Where are the results? And we keep electing the same people over and over again. For what? Because we're comfortable? Because we aren't given, alternatives that are feasible? Because nobody has a plan that sounds good? It's the same old, same old. Same old okie doke people are falling for. We've got to knock that off.
So how are we campaigning? What can they see you do or hear from you more within the next 60 days? Because in this coronavirus pandemic,
Man, it's killed my ground game.
How are you touching people? How are you getting this message out to people?
From 6 feet away? No, not really. So my, which we're clearly not.
We're not 6
today.
feet away.
Right, I know. Right. My campaign has been relegated to an online presence. Whether you think that's fortunate or unfortunate, I think people are going to start moving in that direction once we start, putting limits on campaigns. They're going to have to find creative ways to campaign. But so you're going to see my online presence. I'm on Facebook at Eason for Congress. My own personal page, everything that I publish is public. Jennifer Eason, www.easonforcongress.com as well, where you can check out my platforms and how I feel about things. But I've got a coalition of folks also in the community that are ready to go put some flyers and things in the door. And this Saturday as well, I'm also going to be working with Dr. Dillard Scott, who's running for county commission for Lawrence Weekly's spot because he's terming out. We're going to be at the corner of H and Owen Street doing a spaghetti drive. So, again, because we know people are having a hard time feeding their families. Unemployment isn't picking up. If you can even get your money, your $1,200 hasn't hit. That's a whole different mess to talk about. So people are wondering how they're going to feed their families. So we're just going to put some spaghetti in some styrofoam containers. People can drive through, line up, and have an opportunity to say hi to me and hopefully feed their families.
You've publicized your own struggles with this pandemic when it comes to, what was it, some unemployment funds that were an issue for you, and so many other families are going through it. Can you kind of speak to the people and what they can do in this time right now to try to, just gain the reins of this horse that they got?
Stay calm more than anything else. I know that sounds crazy. I know that that's tough to do. But if you are adding to your stress, your kids and your families feel that. Kids are sponges and they pick up on that. And they're already worried about school and the Clark County School District, the emails and the phone calls that I'm getting. I mean, it's just a mess. I cannot believe the lack of organization. We knew about this months before any stay-at-home orders were put in place. I failed to understand why the current leadership of the state did not immediately contract with additional call centers, did not immediately start hiring people and train them for the influx of calls and online presence that we knew was happening. The mayor doesn't agree with the governor. Listen, this transcends politics. I don't care what side of the aisle that you're on at this point. People are hurting. People have no idea where they're going to get their next meal. People have no idea how they're going to pay their rent when this is all said and done and landlords come knocking for the last 3 months if people weren't able to pay.
Right.
We have got to get it together.
Absolutely.
We have got to figure out a plan. We just have a tendency to be reactive. People have a tendency in the government to work and spend all this time putting out fires that you should have stopped from beginning in the first place. You've got to start thinking proactively. We knew this was happening.
Right.
I would agree with you. 100% on that. And as a parent also who has a child in Clark County School District, I get calls and emails.
Just emails asking how you're doing. Well, how do you think we're doing?
Yeah,
right?
Not
right?
well.
Not well. And how
Yeah.
they're gonna grade these kids is
Oh my goodness.
is by whatever the grade is at the end of the third quarter. So they opened up the assignment books again for these kids to go back in and complete third quarter. Go get your grades done.
Right.
But
Up your grade.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is an opportunity, right? So they're at least giving kids an opportunity to make up some of the work that they haven't had a chance to complete. But again, I'm gonna say it again. We knew this was coming. Where was the planning?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you just, what do you think is like the biggest issue for the West Side, for the 4th District? What's like the number one, but within those resources, like is it access to assistance, like educational assistance? Is it access to helpline to tell you where to go and how to do? Or is it that we just don't have enough raw financial resources being placed back in this community by the state? Is that what it is? I mean,
That's it.
Talk
It touches
about
everything
that.
else.
Yeah, 100%.
Again, follow the money.
100%. Just talk a little bit more about that, because I'm not running for anything. I see that, and I don't live in the West Side, but I have a lot of friends who do, and I'm in the West Side a lot, and it's irritating to me, actually, when I see when you drive and you get to a certain area and you see everything change. And I'm just keeping it real here. Everything changes. And there's a demographic on the West Side that the rest of the city wants to pretend doesn't exist, in my opinion, that the rest of the leadership way above this city, but overall wants to pretend doesn't exist. So we want to say, that demographic typically doesn't vote.
So not true.
I know, but
Right.
people want to think that. And so we just say, we don't care what it looks and feels like. We don't care that you can't get fresh groceries. We don't care that you can't register your car without driving all over and all those things. And I really think it speaks to a mindset about what the West Side is, who lives there,
It's called institutional racism.
Hello.
That's what that's called.
Hello.
That's what that's called. So
Yeah.
to answer your question, the one word that I think sums this up for me that's lacking in the West Side specifically, but that holds true for lower income communities all over the country.
Amen.
And communities of color all over the country.
Amen.
The word is investment. That's what we're missing. We're missing investment into our kids and their future, because I would like to know why our elementary schools on the West Side look the way they look, while the schools in Summerlin are lined up to be given Chromebooks so that they can complete their assignments.
Right.
The kids on the West Side, why aren't we asking them, if we give you this Chromebook, do you even have internet access to get those things completed?
Right. So you have a computer that doesn't work.
Correct. These kids are falling through the cracks.
Yeah.
So we're missing an investment in education for our kids. We're missing an investment from the community. Where's the affordable housing? So we're missing an investment from that aspect. Yeah. Where are the banking resources that are willing to put banking resources into the community so that folks that live there can get approved for loans and build their own stronger communities, so that the community has an opportunity to support itself? So if someone wants to open a restaurant in that community with money that they were able to secure from a bank in that community, so people in the community can go and support that restaurant and keep the money in the community.
Right.
We're missing investment.
Can you speak to the people out there? Maybe it's a young lady out there. How does she get started into running for Congress, or 10 years later, 10 years from now? So speak to the younger you.
First thing you've got to do is never doubt yourself. Okay. Self-doubt is going to be the biggest obstacle that you have to overcome, and that's probably what took me so long. Listening to other people say you're not good enough, listening to other people say you don't have the experience, which in my opinion is the problem. We keep electing career politicians that really only care about themselves. So just look at yourself in the mirror and know that you are capable of doing this. Anybody is capable of doing this. Make sure that you align yourself with the right people. I'll be the first person to tell you that I don't have all the answers. Anybody that tells you they have all the answers is full of it. So you've got to align yourself with the right people.
Right.
So if you don't know about urban planning, align yourself with someone who does. Make sure that you listen to the right people and make sure that you keep yourself honest. It's always going to come back around. If you do something dishonest, whatever's done in the dark always comes to light. So make sure that you never give up on yourself. Make sure that you make yourself accessible. Make sure that you keep yourself real and follow through. Do what you say you're going to do. And then just go to the Secretary of State's office and file. Get out there in the community and talk to people. Tell people about what your vision is. Bring people in the community into the fold of what it is that you're trying to do, because nobody can do this on their own. Yeah. You've got to have the right support. You've got to get the people from the community to believe in you and listen to what you're saying and help carry that message forward.
Right.
Anybody can do this. You just have to surround yourself with the right people and have the right message.
You had mother and father growing up?
I did.
What were?
Unfortunately.
What you said?
My dad's a piece of work. My mom's great. My dad. I grew up with a dad who told me, and this is, I'm telling you this on camera. When my first year of college, my dad told me, I don't care if he's the son of the president of the United States. If he's black, you are not dating him. Oh, okay. Watch this.
Wow. Little did he know that might have been true a few years later.
Right.
The president was black.
Right. And so I see it from a different perspective, right? I have never personally had to be arrested for something that I clearly didn't do. I've seen it happen. It happened to my kid's dad. They barged in my backyard, said that he was someone that he wasn't. And you know who had a warrant that day? My mom. Not even him.
Right.
Was taken away on that warrant, not in handcuffs, comfortably placed in the back of a police car, given orange juice and checked on to make sure that she was okay. Yeah. These are things that are actually happening in the community, as everyone that's watching knows.
Yeah, of course.
People that don't live that think that doesn't happen. Right. You just should have complied. That's crap. These are things that are actually happening.
Oh, every day.
Okay.
Every day.
So, Mom, what did Mom instill in you that sticks with you today? Well, I mean, your dad probably gave you some things too, you know. But...
My dad told me who I don't want to be.
Okay.
My dad taught me how to give back to the community and be selfless about it, and not need to have something back in order to make a difference. Yeah. My mom taught me how to never give up, because in the face of constant adversity, being the mother of 4 kids who wasn't allowed to work, my mom taught me how to rise up and never give up.
Wow.
Regardless of your circumstances.
Wow.
And be able to speak for yourself, because I saw what it looks like to not be able to.
Right. Are you attached to any people in the A916 area?
So I've aligned myself with Dr. Dillard Scott, again, who is, running for Lawrence Weekly's seat. Mm-hmm. He and I have been campaigning frequently together. Mm-hmm. So I've been fortunate enough for him to take me to a couple of campaign events, specifically church-centered events. Mm-hmm. So I've had an opportunity to talk to the churches in the community, and there is nothing stronger that has the ability to keep itself together than the West Side.
Right.
Again, in the face of declining property values, in the face of a lack of investment, those people persist and they carry on, and they make that community beautiful. It's a beautiful. It's I sound like Trump, but it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah. So now I want to know. Yeah. Democrat, Republican, right? For you, why Democrat?
Because people who run on a third-party ticket or independents don't win. I will be the first person to tell you that I also take issue with Democrats. I certainly take issue with Republicans. I don't align with any of those platform issues. But I will tell you when Republicans are wrong as well. Yeah. So, for instance, take the stimulus bill that just passed. Yeah. One of the other initiatives that I really want to focus on is, if we're going to pass a bill, can we just pass the bill without all the other crap thrown into it? So the Democrats did it too, right? We want to put money for Kennedy Center and all this. How is that helping the people who can't put food on the table?
Right.
Let's talk about that stuff later and get this $1,200 or more, because it really should be more, into the hands of the people that need it. Yeah, so we are legitimately going to stop the passage of a bill to help people, because you guys want to put some additional nonsense into a bill. That process has got to stop.
Right.
Democrats did it too.
Right. What does a person do when they don't win? What does that life look like for a person? Have you seen it?
They run again.
You keep running?
You run. Yeah, this doesn't end for me here.
Right. Well, we're hoping you win.
Mm-hmm. In the event that I don't, this certainly doesn't end for me here. I will
keep pushing.
Yep, you keep pushing. You can never give up.
What do you need from the community right now as you're talking to the people? You need more people to canvas for you? You need people to hit the like button? What do you need?
All of those things. What I need is, again, because my ground game has been killed, thanks to the Rona, I need people talking to their neighbors. I need people talking to their families. I need people to go to my Facebook page at Jennifer Eason, take the time to read through my feelings and how I think about things. my whole thought process. And if it resonates with you, if you take a look at the things I'm posting and say, this chick makes sense, tell your people. Tell your people to go to my webpage. The most important thing that they can do is vote in the primary. So our primary is scheduled for June 6th. It normally would have been an in-person situation where you go press those buttons. Because of the situation that we're in, through an abundance of caution, the Secretary of State has made the decision to do it as a mail-in campaign. So a couple of weeks before the 6th of June, last couple of weeks of May, you'll get your mail-in ballot in the mail, which again gives you time to look at those candidates, research their positions, make sure it's sent in and postmarked no later than June 6th. If I don't win the primary, that's, I don't move forward into the general against whoever the Republicans put forward.
Yeah, I read what's on your website. It's pretty strong.
Thank you.
It's actually pretty strong.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I'm like a freight train.
You gonna keep running?
Hey, I have things to do. I have lives to change.
What was growing up in Kansas like for Jennifer?
Full of really good barbecue that you can't find in Las Vegas.
Word.
I like to eat.
I feel that.
I like to eat. I cook. So it was learning how to be. I mean, I'm a Midwest girl at the end of the day. So I tell the truth and I do the right thing because that's what you do in the Midwest. I learned how to be humble. I learned what, if you go into an inner city community in Kansas City, it looks very different from an inner city community here. That is multiple years of generational poverty. So, I've seen people get shot in front of me on the streets. As I'm sure lots of people have seen that in these communities that are so underrepresented. But being from the Midwest, I think it gives me a strength, I think, to make things happen in a historically Republican, very whitewashed sort of environment. Gives me a different perspective on things.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, good barbecue.
I will say this, full disclosure, since people might say, people from the community and a lot of IC's followers might think, well, what do you know? I mean, this is some white chick, from the suburbs or whatever. So both Jennifer and I live in a black household, have black spouses, have black children.
But that doesn't mean that we know what that's.
Absolutely
we can
doesn't.
see it from the outside, and that's where people get it mistaken.
But means we have a greater sensitivity.
Correct.
You aren't Jenny from the block, white chick, Becky with the good hair. That ain't you.
True story.
And I know you,
right.
so I can say that
right.
is not you. Right? I'm just being real.
I had to have that conversation with my son about how you behave in the event that you have police contact. And until you, as a mother, I don't care what your race or ethnicity is, that changes you as a person.
Absolutely.
It changes you as a person.
As I had them with mine.
A completely different perspective.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I guarantee you, my brother, my brother, married to a white girl, I guarantee you he didn't have that conversation with any of his kids.
It changes
Didn't
you
need
as
to,
a person.
because white kids don't get thumped like that.
White kids don't get thumped like that.
That's just how it is.
No.
Yeah, black kids get pulled over walking home from school for no reason.
No, they get pulled over because the tint's a little much.
That's right.
Then they bring them out of the car and act all crazy.
Shoot them in the back while they're running away.
Yeah, yeah.
You say woman, right? So we look at it, it's a man's world. You see men in the political race. Talk to the woman, and you out there.
We're smarter.
Hey, I'd have to agree with that, honey.
We just are.
I would have to agree with that, babe.
We just are. We have, women are emotional creatures just by default, right?
Right.
We own that.
Yeah.
You can either choose to take that emotion and let it define you, as men have had a tendency to do towards women candidates throughout the history of time. Women can't be elected. They're emotional. They're going to let their emotions take over. How is that a bad thing? Look at what is happening right now. Has this worked for us? Is this working? Is this working for you? This is not working for me. Yeah. This is not working for my children. This is not working for my children's children.
Not at all.
This is not a future that I am in any way comfortable leaving for my children.
Right.
My daughter, who works at Starbucks now, calls me once or twice a week to tell me how she was called out of her name by someone at Starbucks. Wow. This is not okay.
2020.
Wow.
So I'm
2020.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. So as an admittedly emotional woman, I'm going to take that emotion and utilize it for, right, use your powers for good instead of evil. we've got to stop demonizing that emotional piece that women carry around, because please believe me, we have figured out how to harness that. We're not going to stand on the podium and cry while we're being inaugurated, right? We're gonna take that emotion and we're gonna harness it into something powerful. It's not something that should be demonized. It's a good thing. Emotions are a good thing.
Absolutely.
Men.
Absolutely. By the way, when people call my children out of their name, my children will tell you this: good, evil, bad. I don't know. I jumped up and stomped on somebody.
Oh, I showed up to school.
All day long.
Oh, I showed up to school.
I don't know if that's emotion. It's what that is. I'm looking out for my kids.
Right.
Call my kids are bigger than me. Call them out of their name today.
Oh yeah, I showed up to school.
You see me I'll put the Deacon T hat right on the back seat for just a minute, and our T-boy will be coming out.
I tell you.
All day.
I have a funny
Ain't
story.
nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. What kind of parent are you if you're not standing up for your kids? Because these schools aren't standing up for your kids.
No.
It's your job as a parent to stand up for your kids.
Yeah.
Your kids learn everything from you.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you a funny story. This is who I am as a person. My son, and I'm sorry I'm saying this in public. He's probably going to kill me. But my son suffers from multiple diagnosed mental health issues. This is a full-time job dealing with a kid that's got some of the challenges that he has. Okay. So he was being seen by a well-known group here in town, and he was in the middle of a crisis. And I called and I was like, "Look, my son is having a crisis. What do we do? Bring him in." So I brought him into this place, and when I got there, they said, "Oh, we're not seeing kids today." I grabbed that lady by the shirt across the thing, and I was like, "You will see my son today, or you will have Metro. You will have to call Metro to have me removed. I'm not here to play games."
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Got to be seen.
Yep.
What are we doing Saturday? Talk to them one more time. Tell them what to come get.
Well, I can tell you that I'm going to be awakened probably around 5 a.m. I'm going to have a gang of people over to the house to help me cook. We're doing probably between 300 and 400 styrofoam to-go containers of spaghetti. Take as many as you need to feed your entire family. We've got plenty to go around, so it's going to be, we found a drive-through situation, so you're going to be able to keep yourself safe, drive through, grab as many of those as you need, take them home, feed your family. I'm going to be there, clearly. Ask me any questions. I'm available. IC will be there. Deacon will be here. Dillard, Scott will be there. Darshell from Taste Buds that owns Taste Buds that makes the most amazing potatoes you ever had in your life. Her and her crew will be there. We're just going to be out in the community.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Feeding people. Doing things that count right now.
Absolutely.
That's right. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
because I was early, and I don't remember if it was IC or you. IC or you had said people are really struggling. I mean, there's so much on every level. When I get to hot topics, you see what I'm talking about. But there's nothing worse than not knowing. If you know and it's bad, at least you know, and then you try to make plans around the known. But if I say to you, you're going to get unemployment next week, and then it just isn't happening, or you go on the machine and the machine doesn't work, or you keep trying and trying and trying, and it just doesn't happen, and then we say, hey, don't be frustrated. Calm down. Take it easy. No, wait a minute. I got 3 kids that need to eat.
Right.
I can't even go anywhere. I can't hardly get out of my house. They're trapped here with me. They're supposed to be doing schoolwork, but we don't have Wi-Fi. My kids are falling behind. That's bothering me. There's a dude banging on my door wanting rent. That bothered me. There's some other guy outside with a tow truck trying to take my car. I don't have anything to eat. True story. I had somebody in this situation come to me the other day. I might have told you and said, is there anything you can do to help me? All I have is pistachios. And that's all we've had for 2 days for my 2 children.
You know what's so bad about that?
When
That's not even happening now. This is you're describing the life for people every day.
Exactly.
Outside of this crisis.
And this has just made it worse.
Yep.
And the crunch that is put on because so many people at the same moment became unemployed, and the stresses that has put on everything. I had this unbelievable burning, just inside of me, because the more people I talk to at every level, in one way or another, are struggling. Struggling because they don't know, and this is another terrible thing to say, they don't believe what leadership is telling them.
Why would you?
People just don't believe it. People believe, in my opinion, that what they're being told is either politically motivated or self-preservation motivated, depending on who you're talking to, or both, depending on who you're talking to, that people say whatever they need to say to get you out of their face right now, and that there's just a wave of dishonesty. It's just a, and people sense that. People aren't stupid. People aren't sheep. People may follow. That doesn't mean they're sheep.
That's right.
Okay? And they'll follow so far. Then they're going to call them, hey, wait a minute. And whoever said that at the beginning was so right. I mean, I'm really out. I talk to a lot of people, and man, I'm telling you, people are acting out of character. I'm talking about from doctors all the way down the ladder of economic to children, older people. It's really, and I think we're about to find out that this situation is going to go on another month. At least.
I think we're in for the long haul.
Yeah,
these are unprecedented times. I don't think anybody has any expectation of how we're supposed to behave, what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
We are all in this together. We're all feeling this pain one way or another, and we're all we got.
Is there anything you want to tell the people before we go to Deacon T's Hot Topics? And did you have a good time in the hot seat?
I had a great time in the hot seat. Listen, I'll come back anytime.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think the only thing that I want to make sure that people know about me, again, is that I'm not a politician. I'm you. I'm the everyday person struggling that wants to get into a position to affect change for people that know what it feels like to struggle. I will always be accessible. I will always be honest. I may not always have the answers. I will never pretend that I know everything. And I will never ignore the needs of the people in the district that I was elected to represent.
Right on. Right on. And what's the radius? What are you representing exactly?
So I've got North Las Vegas,
right.
And I live at Andalusia, so that area right there. I've got some of the more rural places up north, like Ely and White Pine and that stuff up there, and then the fabulous West Side.
Wow, that's a lot of territory.
It's a lot of territory. Wow. It's the biggest district.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what are people doing up north? Is that up north or what?
Yeah.
What are they doing up there? Are they living in worse conditions or how they? I've never been up north in Nevada in my life.
So it's more spread out than Las Vegas. The population is certainly a lot less than here. Yeah. They're pretty much doing the same thing, staying in the house. With the jobs aren't there.
Right.
So, but they have a tendency to vote a little bit differently than we do here.
Okay. Yeah. Deacon T, what's happening with the hot topics? Talk to us.
So here's the hot topic for today, and it's amazing how God works, man. So it dovetails on everything that we've been talking about today, and that is, I'm just going to be really, really raw. You want to think during this coronavirus time that you got it all together. And so what this is today, the hot topic today is Deacon T is giving you a warning. He's giving you a little intel here that it doesn't make any difference who you are or how much you pray or how much you fast or how good a person you think you are or how you try to live a tidy life, okay? Because no matter who you are, sometimes it's just too much stuff on your plate. And I will tell you that when you get too much stuff on your plate, it doesn't make any difference if you're me. And I'm going to tell you, I lost my mind 2 nights ago. I mean, lost my mind. I'm not kidding. And I'm really, really not proud of myself. I don't know why I did it. I had 20 minutes of lunacy. I talked to my wife all crazy. I was walking around my house like a man possessed. I was like a fool. And I mean like a fool. Because I got stuff going on my job. You ever notice that right now it seems like nothing positive is happening? Well, it is, but we don't see it because I'm going to talk about me, I ain't talking about you. I'm so overwhelmed by all the bullshit. Deacon T said bullshit. Don't nobody leave the church. Calm down. Everybody grow up. You can't say that. He's the deacon. Yes, you can. Bullshit. I said it again. The issue I had was a lot of stuff going on the job, massive uncertainty, big mortgage, kids' school, all kind of crazy. And I have a child who has some issues, and she needs to be in school and be regular and have routine, okay? Not in her bed, sitting with a computer on her lap, and I got to keep going seeing if she's doing video game or homework. But I don't want to get off track. I lost my mind. I wasn't right. I owe my wife the biggest apology ever because I wasn't right. There's no excuse for it. But I was overwhelmed. Because I've never been like this. My wife has never seen me like this in 30 years that we've been married. And it's a warning to people. You think I'm special? I ain't special. You think I'm like extra blessed? I ain't extra blessed. You think that you're wrong. If you think that your pastor, your priest, your deacon, your somebody is immune from having these issues or falling in the hole or losing his mind, or as we used to say back home, losing his religion and just getting crazy. The devil got a hold of me for about 15 to 20 minutes and threw me against every wall in my house. I was screaming so loud I couldn't speak for hours afterward. My voice was gone. And as long as you know me, I ain't got no problem with my voice. I was like that. No, I was blowed up so big, I was swole up, physically swole up. I mean, beware. Get some downtime. This stuff is going to end. And there is good stuff happening. You got to look for it. I don't care if it's this. I'm going to give you a hint. You woke up today and you walking around on your own power. Your heart is beating, your eyes are blinking, and your mind is working. Starting right there, that isn't all bad. And then just build on that. You got kids, and you're looking at them, and they're in your house, and you can actually see them because they can't go anywhere. My kids can't get in as much trouble in my house as they can on them streets. Now that's the truth. I get to see my wife every day, hours and hours a day now. That's a blessing. I didn't treat it as that, and I'm very, very sorry for that.
That's good.
But the hot topic for today is, ain't nobody immune from this stuff, man.
Right.
And watch out. Guard your soul, guard your spirit, guard your mind. And how you do that is getting in touch with God. It's 5 minutes a day. It's 10 minutes a day. Just get yourself alone and exhale. It's going to be okay. COVID's going to go away. It's going to take a while. Your job or a job will return, even if it takes a while.
Right.
Your landlord is not going to be able to throw you out because he's going to have to throw everybody in the complex out.
Right.
We're all the same. He's going to have to throw me out, IC out, Jan out, everybody out. So all I'm here to tell you in this hot topic today is watch yourself. Beware. Because it happened to me 2 days ago, and I don't even know how to say I'm sorry. It was that stupid.
You know what you are, though?
It was that stupid.
You know what you are, though? Human.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to tell everybody. I always tell everybody, just because somebody at the pulpit, they ain't no better than you in any way, and this is a living example, and that's why my wife may be mad at me, but I don't know. But I just thought it was really, I needed to tell people, it happened to me, and everybody come to me and, they think, well, you're a deacon, you're the pastor, you something, you special, you going to heaven first, you got a hotline to Jesus. Nah, that's all nonsense. You know what I got? The exact same thing y'all got. Okay, and guess what? The devil bit me in the butt, and I reacted. And what I should have done is taken a breath and not reacted, and I didn't. Instead, I reacted old school. I lost my mind.
We're going for routine in our house because the routine has shifted drastically.
Oh my God.
And so, children on computer,
right.
Got to do homework.
And shifting creates pressure.
Later,
Shifting like that in your home dynamic creates pressure. And then go to your job. If you on your job, pressure, because everything's shifted. We hear, at my job, there's like 4 or 5 people left walking around. They're all walking around like, who next? Who next? Right. And it's pressure. So even though, thank God, I'm still here and working, it's pressure.
Yeah.
And is it going to end tomorrow? Is it going to end Tuesday?
Right.
When's it going to end? Is it going to end? Oh my God, I don't know. And it just sucks the energy out of you. I've never been so tired at the end of the day of my life. And we aren't hardly doing anything except trying to
make it to the next day.
Make
the
it
pressure,
through.
Make it to the
the
next
pressure
day.
that stresses, the
Yeah.
pressure that
What you said,
outweighs
I think, is so important. Just take 5 minutes out of your day to turn the news
chill
off.
pill.
Right, even if it's just yourself in the bathroom for 5 minutes, I think we all do.
Yeah.
Take those 5 minutes and think about something other than the pressure that you're dealing with, the pressure that your kids are dealing with. Because if you're no good up here, you're no good for anybody.
No good for
And
anybody.
really, particularly, and I'm just particularly parents, we have got to keep it together. We've got you think our kids at whatever age, they're not sensing these same things because their whole life shifted too, and they're not in their regular routine, and they're not seeing their friends, and they're not going to school, and am I going to get out? Am I going to have to spend another year in school? Oh my goodness, and daddy ain't acting right, and I hear him talking to mom about we can't pay the bills, and I ain't got no food, and right. And children who have no ability to affect any of those things are caught up in that. I think it's really important that as parents, we not be perfect, because that's unreal and that's not right to our kids either, but that we practice going into the bathroom and just breathing out and doing what we need to do to get ourselves together to be the best we can be for our children. Start right there.
I think we as a community have a real opportunity here. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity that the Lord has presented us with, where we have 3 roads that we can take. The first road that we can choose to take is either continue with what we're doing now with the current administration, where we're putting kids in cages, and we can continue to do that if that's working for you. The second road that we can take is continuing with the status quo of the Democrats and the folks that are in office now doing nothing, saying all the right things, but without the metrics and the deliverables and the proof. Or we can take a third road. And that third road is to take a look at your circumstances, your family, your friends, and decide that this is not working for you.
Right.
And if you decide to take that third road, we have an opportunity to rebuild ourselves as a society, as a country, value people over profits, decide that we want to empower our communities that need it the most, that we want to stop with putting money into the military industrial complex and the pockets of the people that we continue to elect, and take that money and decide to give health care to people.
Right.
Take that money and decide to revamp the education system so that all kids have an opportunity to learn on a level playing field.
Yeah.
We can decide that we want to talk to our law enforcement and talk to them about how they choose to recruit, so that we can recruit people that grew up in the communities to police the communities when they're older. We have an opportunity to redefine our society and how we treat each other.
Yeah. Right now.
I want to take that third road. That's the road I want to take, and that's why I'm doing this.
That's good. Hey, if that didn't get you, I don't know what will. Go follow her.
Take the third road.
Go to her website, Eason for Congress. Follow her on all social media. Where we at on social media?
Facebook, you can find me at Jennifer Eason. It's a kind of funny cartoon-looking default picture. That's how you know it's me. Again, my page is public.
Right.
You'll see delicious food and lots of politics and lots of anti-Trump stuff. Or Eason for Congress on Facebook, or EasonForCongress.com.
Yeah, we got to get you a Twitter now.
I have a Twitter, Eason for Congress.
Okay. Well, an Instagram then.
I'm not smart enough for Instagram. I'll post my food pics on
go to
Facebook.
her website. Follow her on Facebook. She's amazing, as you see. Sat here with a good conversation on Hot Seat with Icy Jones. I didn't go too hard on you, right?
Not at all.
All right, cool.
I came ready. I was born ready.
Yeah, I was just making sure. So yeah, you guys, make sure you check her out. And you know what it is, man. Hot Seat with Icy Jones. Also, Deacon T. What's going on?
10 a.m. Sunday morning. We're doing it online. Go to my Facebook page, Facebook Live on Deacon Tom Moore. We'll be on there Sunday morning. The new feature, now, finally, under pressure, I gave in, and we have a donate button. So you can go to our Modern Word website, which is www.modernwordministries.com, and you can donate. And, you know, everybody who knows me knows I'm not in this for the money. That would be an understatement. We're just trying to cover some costs, and we appreciate anything you can do to help us. You know, since we're not having church in the building, we obviously are not having any collection, but we're still paying rent on the building. We're still paying electric. We're still paying our insurance. And so that means that Deacon T is writing a check. So I'm looking for a little help. If you can help me, www.modernwordministries.com. Donate and catch me on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. on Deacon Tom Moore on my Facebook page.
And again, come out on Saturday. Come out on
Saturday. Absolutely. We'll all be there. IC's going to be there. I'll be there. Jennifer will be there.
11 to 1.
We'll recruit some other people. We're not doing it alone.
Flyer is on my news feed. I will share it again, of course. And man, we appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Make sure y'all share this. Let everybody know what's happening. Jennifer Eason for Congress.
Tell your people.
See how he saves it. Watch how he saves it on the phone.